Alrighty. So let's wait for this to come on through. Doo-doo-doo. How long is the delay here? Come on. Waiting just to make sure. Perfect. All right. So have to make sure that the live stream is actually up and running. So what's going on? We're gonna say hey to Quester J, Corey, how you doing this evening? Pat Conti, Savage True One, what's up with you? I think that's everyone. I just saw Terry. How you doing this evening? We got Jimmy from Cuff and Stuff. How you guys all doing this evening? Well, how is everyone tonight? Uh, really glad you can make it. Glad you could join me. So, yeah, Question J said he's eating meatloaf. Ugh. I'm not a big meatloaf fan. I think I've talked to you guys about that. Told you guys I'm not a big meatloaf fan quite a few times. Every now and again, though, I will try to smoke some meatloaf, and yeah, sometimes. How am I yawning? I haven't even had anything to drink yet, and I just got started. Sometimes the results are better than others. Anyway, how is everyone doing this evening? Questa J, how you doing? Sean, what's up? What's up? Questa J, dude. Oh man, Jay, my wife is the same exact way. We can go places and she will straight order the meatloaf, and I'm like, why would you do that? She's like, meatloaf is so yummy. Something wrong with you. Hey, Bumpy, what's going on? Chef. Oh man. Hey man, have a good evening, Chef. You be easy. Good be easy. Adam, how you doing this evening? What's up, welders? Fantasy barbecue. Hey yo, how you doing? All right, so before we get in too deep, I am going to, I'm going to Russell. How you doing this evening, sir? Russell, I did see your edit on the thingamathinger. Yeah, on the congratulations post, that was pretty dope. It was really good editing. Chris Herbert says this is first time joining. Well, hopefully this will be a good one for you. Um, oh my gosh, I have a little bit of water on my nose from my ice. All right, so you guys were here last week, and I think 2 weeks ago we started talking about bourbon. And I've been trying to do something, learn some new stuff while I've been sitting at home, staying at home. So one of the things that I have done, or I did, was I picked this up a little earlier. This is a bullet bourbon. It says Frontier Whiskey. Joaquin, how you doing this evening? In your mouth barbecue. Hello, sir. How you doing? So I picked up this bullet bourbon Frontier Whiskey, and it is a barrel strength whiskey, which means it is a very, very high proof. 62.7% alcohol. Yeah, we're looking at 114% here. Yeah, Brother Bear barbecue and bourbon. So we got Beards barbecue and bourbon. But uh, I'm going to try it. It says it's uncut, limited bottling, bullet bourbon, batch number 5, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, and it's barrel strength. Oh, thanks, Bumpy. He did the math for me. 120. Yeah, it's funny. So I was and oh boy, whoo, I was in a store and I was telling the guy, I was like, yo, I'm looking for something that's like a high proof or overproof bourbon. He's like, nah, majority of them are like 80, 90% alcohol. I'm like, no, there's some that, or 80 or 90 proof. And I'm like, no, there's some that are over 120. He's like, no, they're all about 80 or 90. So I'm like, I said, there's a specific one that's over, like in the low 100s, in the 120s. And he's like, uh, this is the bullet barrel strength. All right. So anyway, so my man is sitting there telling me, no, they're all about 90 proof, and I'm like, eh. So I said, all right, well look, here's one that's 100, and then I said, oh, I said, this one is 62.7% alcohol. I said, that's 120 something. He's like, no, it's like 100 and wait a minute. He's like, it is. So I'm like, all right. So he's like, I taught him something today. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit over some ice, and I'm gonna try it out. I have a lot more ice in this cup than I did last time, so I have a lot of ice in here, and I'm let me catch up on the comments before I take a sip. But if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up button for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. Oh, thanks, Russell. I appreciate that. Eric, how you doing this morning? See, I'm confused from the last time when I did a live stream on Saturday morning. Mr. Hockett, so Jack Hockett says a neighbor bought over a fifth and hard. Shared a shot of his. Don't forget the ride part. It's smooth. Okay. I've never. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure this whole thing out. Rich from Our New Barbecue says, "Hey yo." Okay. Woo. Definitely some heat on the tail end there. Kurt, what's going on? He says, "Hey yo, what's happening, barbecue brethren?" Saludos, Dash from Tijuana, Mexico. Barbecue short line and his kitchen fight. What's going on? Damn right, barbecue. What's up? Corey says Turkey 101. Ooh, I love bullet. Eric says, yes, sir. Dale says Boston in the house. By the way, now Tom Brady is gone. You guys might have a chance. Much respect to you. Well, thanks. Thanks. Taylor B, how you doing? I'm definitely drinking the brown water. Jay, what's going on, Jay, man? Good brother. It's good to see you on the live stream. Eric Smith says, hey, yo. Veterans Barbecue says, yo, Dash, how you doing this evening, everyone? So, let's see. Raspberry Rock says, Dash, what foods have you been asked to cater? And I said no. People ask me to do leg quarters every now and again, and I've told them no. And the reason is because a leg quarter is a rather big piece of chicken. So leg quarter is the leg and the thigh portion together. It's a rather big piece of chicken. By the time it's all said and done, portions or pieces of chicken, especially a piece like that, they get rather expensive because the portion is a lot harder to manage when doing catering events. I'd rather do like a chopped chicken or a mixed chicken or a pulled chicken type thing. All right, Eric says thumbs up on the drink. Happy to be waiting on a smoker delivery this Friday. Stupid excited. Happy to be here with you fine folks, Taylor says. That's what's up. Yeah, exactly, Taylor. What do you have on the way? What's coming? What's coming? Humphrey's Battle Box. All right, we're going to have to check that one out. Let's see. SUMPHR Battle Box. Ooh, Humphrey's Barbecue Smokers Battle Box. This looks kind of like Humphrey'sBarbecue.com. This kind of looks like Vicky. Oh yeah, look at that. Charcoal basket underneath. We got a water pan down on the bottom. Not bad. Vicky just stands up a little higher. Thanks, Russell. Appreciate that. Nose that bourbon for a bit. Smell it as you inhale. Open your mouth and notice how the smell gets stronger. I'm trying, Eric. I'm still a noob here. Yep, like Vicky but smaller. Exactly what I just said. It looks pretty similar. Bongo Sabroso, what's going on with you, man? Yo, that what was that? Steak Diane? Bro, you had me wanting Steak Diane that day. Like that day. This one looks about $2,000 for this smoker here. Looks like Vicky, but with the firebox on the side. So Vicky, the firebox for Vicky is actually underneath. So it's the same, pretty much the same exact, not design, but same exact methodology. Just battle box smoker. I'm excited. Are you handling orders different with the pandemic? Slightly. I have kind of been doing the mix where almost 100% of my orders I used to deliver them. I'm probably delivering about 25-30% of the orders at this point. This past weekend, and actually the video that you're going to see tomorrow, and actually shoot, it was last weekend, not this past weekend. So 2 weekends ago, the order was it? The order was for I had one girl order 10 wings. I had another girl order 10 wings, and then I had someone order. And actually, no, it was this past weekend. I'm sorry. My videos and the dates and when they're going up, they're kind of out of order, so apologize. But it was this past weekend. It was 2 10-wing orders and a whole brisket. So the whole brisket actually went to one of you guys, and the wings went to 2 other folks who just ordered the wings. But I delivered all of those things. But for the most part, I've been having people come to my house and pick up food. Actually, one of you guys is scheduled to come and pick up brisket tomorrow. So I really needed to text him and make sure that he's, everything's good. But I will text him in the morning. So there's that. Let's see. Any more thoughts on that tank? It would make for a lot of video feed for Bill. Yo, so Kirk, I would love to come get the tank. It's just I know my wife is not going to have me being able to come over to the Eastern Shore to pick that thing up just now. So if it's not going anywhere, you can definitely tell him I will come and get it, but I probably won't be able to come and get it for like a month or so. So if you let him know. Derek Pearson says, "How do you find catering gigs?" Word of mouth. Word of mouth. So I know people who know people, and then they recommend me to do different things, or that says, "Hey, does anyone know someone who can do this?" And then I just raise my hand. No worries, Jack. No, take in air in your mouth and nose at the same time. All right. So you want me to taste it but smell it? It didn't hurt as much that time. Do you have your customers pay you up front before you start cooking? Dale, for the most part, yes. Almost probably 75-80% of the people who I do business with, especially when doing bigger catering events, they have to be paid in full 7 days prior to their event. And the whole reason I do that is because once I start cooking the food, I can't uncook it. So if someone decides to cancel, I want to have their payment 7 days in advance, so that if they get cold feet or something happens, they need to notify me that Wednesday, usually prior to the event being on Saturday or Sunday. No problem. Was a camera one. Editing was fun though. Thanks for the thumbs up. No problem, man. What did I ever decide about a food truck trailer? Chris says. So to be completely honest, I know that this is not the right time. I've said it before in a couple other different lives and in a couple different videos that I really want to be around for my family. My oldest son is getting ready to go into high school. My middle son will be going into high school next year. So after next year, he'll be in 8th grade. Next year, and then going into high school. So I kind of want to be around and do different things with them. I know that if I get a trailer, if I get a truck, that means like there will be no extracurricular activities for me. There will be no Saturdays or Sundays going to games and other things like that. So I'm kind of focused on trying to be around and do the family stuff while I can. Alan. You guys are talking about Alan. Gotcha. Evening, everyone. Smoking Goodness Barbecue says, Eric Smith says, Dash, have you ever had any of your customers say your food was too smoky? And if so, how did you handle it? To be completely honest with you, I haven't. Um, there are times when people do give me feedback, and there are times when I don't hear anything back from people. Um, you'd be surprised how many people I have had complain about something, but more often than not, people complain about the smoke ring on the food than they do about the taste, or if it's being bitter, or like if it's over smoked or something like that. Then I also, on the converse of that, I have a lot of people who tell me everything was great and they loved everything and they would be recommending me to other people. So to answer back to someone who asked, how do I get my catering gigs? If you do a good job one time, that person will remember you and they will recommend you for other catering gigs. And or while you have an event for one person, there's another person at the event who takes one of my cards, or is there when I'm dropping food off or something along those lines. They get my contact information. They get in touch with me. They say, "Oh, hey, I had your food at X, Y, and Z event. Oh, okay, cool. I would like for you to cater an event for me. No problem." And that's it. Just you piggyback. Taylor, yes, I am drinking on the bourbon. I have the Bullet bourbon here, and I'm just kind of sipping it. I don't really know what to expect here, so I'm going to, yeah. So Kirk says, "What's in the rub that I put on my lamb that you cater with?" My fingers, Kirk. Still, this is what I put into to those rub, or to that lamb rub. This right here. This right here. Maybe I'll mix some up for you and send it to you, Kirk. Newcomb says, "Hey Dash, what's with all the ice? A couple cubes is all that's needed." Well, the whole thing was, and to be completely honest with you, I didn't know if I was going to mix anything with this. This is a much higher proof than I am used to, and or than I have had before, and I didn't know if I was going to mix something with it. So those of you guys who are purists and know what you're doing with this bourbon stuff, I'm still a rookie, and I put all the ice in the glass because I didn't know if I was going to be drinking some juice with it or not. Fantasy Barbecue says, business cards, yes or no? If yes, separate phone or same cell number. So, Fantasy Barbecue, here is my take on business cards. I have always been a proponent of business cards. I get my business cards from Vistaprint.com. Big fan of Vistaprint, though. You put your design up on Vistaprint and then you wait for them to send you an email that says everything's 50% off. When they send you that thing that says everything's 50% off, order 2,000 business cards. I order business cards once, maybe twice a year. 2,000 business cards at a time. It costs me, I think, 2 or 3 cents per business card. Okay, you do the math. I think it's 2 cents when I order 2,000, which is why I started ordering 2,000. In the beginning, I ordered 500 here, and then I ordered 1,000 there, and then I had to scramble to order another 1,000. And I finally said, screw this, I'm going to order whatever is going to save me the most money. Now, I think ordering over 5,000 gives you, like, drops them down to, like, a penny a piece. I don't need that many cards. I'm not giving out that many cards. But I sprinkle my business cards out like confetti. Anytime anyone gets a business card from me, they do not get one, they get at least 2. And it's so funny because I give them 2 cards and they're like, hey, you gave me an extra. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I gave one for you and I gave one for you to give to someone else. And they'd be like, and then when people, like, when I drop off food, I'm dropping 10, 15 business cards at a pop. On my way out the door, you guys have seen me go out my door every now and again where I'll do one of those videos where I'm walking out the door, or like you see me reaching for the handle and then I close the door on the other side. At the door, I have a box, a 500 card box of cards. And what it is one of those things that I do ritualistically before I walk out of the door is I pat my pocket and make sure I have business cards in my pocket, because I do not want to be without business cards ever. And anytime I do not have a business card on me, I will have people take pictures of my shirt. Now, this isn't the shirt. Do I have... This is one of my older shirts, and I'm hoping to get this particular one remade. But this is one of my shirts, and it has my contact information on it, my phone number, my website address, okay? But I've had people take pictures of that shirt when I've run out of business cards. And you guys see almost in every video, I have on one of these shirts that has my business name on it. You are going to be your biggest advertiser, so definitely get that. So just drink a small amount and let it roll around your tongue. It's called the Kentucky Chew. Drink it slowly. Oh, Dion says, "Hey Dash, love your work here in New Zealand." Well, thank you very much. New Zealand, yeah, Kiwi. Is that, am I saying that right? We got John from Drive Crashes. Word of mouth is my best advertising. Mine too. Let's see. Rich says, "What's something you thought about making for catering but you don't sell?" Um, Brisket beans is something I've thought about doing because usually I have brisket like trimmings or ends um, left over from the cutting board, and just scooping up that little bit of fat, that little bit of like a little bit of burnt end, like the crumbs from the cutting board, put them in some vegetarian beans. Yo, it is transformative. The like it takes the beans from like a 0 to 100 real quick, and it's so good whenever I make those for my family. Let's see. Jack says, "You might not hear back from people, but those people order again. Repeat business says everything." You're exactly right. Were those magic jazz or spirit fingers? Probably a little bit of both, Kirk. I like good stuff. Neat, but my old crew is on the rocks. All right, no problem. Fantasy. I saw your last video when you were smoking brisket, ribs, and wings in a vertical smoker in your garage. You don't get choked out with the smoke not being outletted in your garage. Bongo Sobroso, tomorrow's video, or actually, if you stick around late enough tonight, I will share the link with you guys for the video. I actually addressed that because I am using Vicky yet again in the video that I'm going to be putting up tomorrow. So actually, last week I filmed. I filmed a lot. Being that I'm home, I'm kicking butt and taking names as far as filming. I film on Tuesdays and I film on Thursdays when I'm at home. And last Tuesday I made some beef ribs. Last Thursday I made some baby back ribs. This Tuesday, so yesterday, I made some spare ribs. Now, if you guys are following me on Instagram, you would have seen the picture that I posted of the spare ribs. It was the first time I've ever cooked spare ribs, and they turned out phenomenally. My family enjoyed them. And Big Steve, I don't know if Big Steve is here or not, but I used Big Steve's chicken seasoning on those ribs, and that was it. I did nothing else to those ribs. To those ribs, and they turned out great. But this video that's going up tomorrow, because I didn't want to start like the rib cooks this week with a break in between, I actually put tomorrow's video is going to be me using Vicky yet again. And I'm doing brisket and some more wings. But I talk about it because I had a couple people ask about, "Hey man, don't you get choked out with the smoke in your garage?" And I address it in tomorrow's video. So Mango Sobroso, hang tight. Pepper Lane says, "I'm in Virginia, going to sell my Lang 60 and Weber Ranch kettle. Want to buy a Meadow Creek smoker. Need quit working on my house for myself and barbecue. Less stressed, but scared of not making enough money." So I can tell you, Pepper, that the barbecue money ebbs and flows, and that was one of the things. I did barbecue full time for a year and a half, and that was my sole source of income, with the exception of doing like odd moves and helping people do things here and there. My main source of income, let's put it that way. And I went back to work because I needed to put my kids in private school. So if I didn't have to put my kids in private school and that I didn't have a mortgage payment more or less for their tuition, then I probably would still be doing barbecue full time. My barbecue business, even though I'm not doing it near as much as I used to, I could, if I ramped up, I could do it because I laid the groundwork, okay? And all it's going to take is for you to be doing it on the side and for you to be doing something full time, and then you'll get to the point where it's a struggle, and then you'll know. You'll know when you need to do the barbecue more and the full-time work less. All right. But how much you trying to sell your Lang 60 for? 60, yeah. I was bugging and smoke can choke people out. Oh no, man, no, you good. What's up, Kent? Mr. Aka says, I love my SDS shirt. It's a thing. Speaking of which, thank you, Jack, for the perfect segue. And I'm behind in the comments, but I will be fast. If you look lower, look down on the screen, you can buy the SDS barbecue, so Steel Drum Smokers barbecue t-shirts like this directly from Teespring. Yes, I do apologize. They're a little bit more expensive because I had to go through Teespring and they're doing all of the shipping and everything like that, but they are selling them direct. And not only do you have the option to buy short sleeve shirts, they come in multiple colors and hoodies are available. I was going to hold off until I ordered some samples and I was going to hold off and talk to you guys about it. But some of you guys have actually seen there has been there's been someone who purchased one of the hoodies already, and I wanted to thank him. If you're here, Klein, if you're here, thank you. I want to say thank you for purchasing that. But back onto the questions. Let's see. Real recognizes real says, "Hey Dash, love all your videos. You seem like like such a great guy." Two, thank you, man. Much love. Well, I appreciate that. Lou says, "Hey yo, good evening, kind sir." Fred says, "Business cards are nice, so you can focus on your current customer and not staying there talking to a guest about future work. Shows current customer your professionalism. Yes, indeed." Ken Kramer says, "Hi to Dutch. What's up? Oh, hey, Johnny, since you asked me about my Suburban barbecue sticker, remember I was telling you what's on my cup? Yeah, here's my cup. Remember you saw me drinking from this cup when I was in Texas? And the one that Ryan put on the cutting board, I put it on this cup as well. So, we're repping Jim right there. So don't think I just threw away his sticker. And actually, I'm kind of bummed. I thought that he gave me two of those stickers, or at least two, and he didn't. So Grumpus, how you doing this evening? Cheers. I do not watch How to Barbecue much. Um, it's just sometimes I see people do different things, and if I do things differently, it kind of irks me. Nothing wrong with Malcolm. He's a cool cat. There's certain things he does that I don't necessarily agree with, just because I do it differently. Not that his way is wrong or my way is wrong. It's kind of like I'd rather watch a car video than someone else do cooking sometimes. So yeah. Yeah. All right. Donnie. Is it Donnie? Dion probably is New Zealand, man. So it's the first thing in the morning for you over there. Bomi Hunter 74, your brisket cook on the catering over the weekend was pure fire looking. Well, thank you, sir, very much, man. I appreciate that. I actually have another brisket I'm doing in the video for tomorrow. Again, it was on Vicky, and it's one of those things. People are like, why aren't you cooking on this? Why don't you cook on that? Why aren't you cooking on this? Dude, I cook on the right cooker for the job. 2 weeks ago, I had orders for 20 wings, some brisket, and some ribs. Last weekend, I had an order for 20 wings. Actually, 2 weeks ago, it was 30 wings, 3 racks of ribs, and brisket. Last weekend, it was 20 wings and brisket. So it's kind of whatever comes in. Tonight, I will be cooking a brisket on the #1 drum and getting it ready for one of you guys. One of you guys hit me up and asked about getting some food. So they're going to be coming up to the house tomorrow and picking it up. Let's see. If you hold onto your tongue, you'll feel the alcohol sooner. Nukem, not going to do that. I have very sensitive teeth, and the ice, dude, nah, not going to be able to do it. Nope. Man, I made brisket sausage and shrimp gumbo. Let me tell y'all, it's a must try. Well, that's what's up. Those types of beans. So he's talking about the brisket beans. Let's see. Do you ever sell coleslaw or potato salad? Pepper Lane, yes, I do. I actually have a source. I got a guy for coleslaw and potato salad. I doctor it up a little bit and I sell it. Hey Dash, do you watch? Yes, I do. I answered that one already. You gotta remember. Just keep in mind, I'm a few minutes behind. Oh gosh, I'm like 5 minutes behind on the comments. Wear my business hat daily, but where do you order your shirts from? So fantasy, I actually have a friend that this shirt I actually went to and found a local. Now this shirt is like 5 years old. I went to a screen printer locally, and I took him my design, and then we kind of worked together. And I basically I gave him a business card, my business card, and the front or the top of the business card is the front of the shirt, and then the back of the business card is the back of the shirt. So basically, it's my business card on a shirt, so that I took to the printer, and there you go, guys. Go. So there is the majority of the shirt, and it says purveyor fine meat, and then of course down at the bottom over time I have updated my business cards to include my Instagram information, my YouTube channel information, my website information, my email. But this is like the third iteration of these business cards in 5 years. So yeah. But I also, you can order shirts through Teespring, which again is what I'm going to be doing, or how I'm going to be selling shirts now, through teespring.com. Dion says, your barbecue makes me hungry every time. We don't use charcoal much down here, but it's slowly taking off. We use gas. Well, if you can get ahead of it and start using charcoal and be on the forefront of using charcoal, I'm telling you, you're going to be a rich man. Charcoal has way more flavor than gas does. The only problem is charcoal might be way more expensive for you. So there's that. So, but if you can get out ahead of it, yes. Michael says, what kind of red tape for a catering permit? So the state of Maryland is very, very finicky. And unfortunately, there are some things that I should have that I don't, but because I'm not actually selling to the public, is how I get around a lot of that. I have an agreement with the person who is having the event, and as long as that person is okay with me, doing the event, that's how I get around some of those things. Hey, Victor says he's checking in and on lunch, so fun time for 30 minutes. A fun time for 30 minutes. Uh, Taylor says, whoa, first time on spare ribs. They're great. A little extra time is all. Dude, Taylor, I'll be completely honest with you. I think I like the baby backs still more than I like the spares. The spares are longer, but they're not necessarily more meaty because they have that whole cartilage bit that you can't really eat. I prefer baby backs. Plus, one of the other things too, and the reason why I started doing baby backs over spares is because spares take up so much more room than baby backs do. I could cook 3 racks of baby backs to 1 rack of spares. What up, Dash? So the ribs, they look great. Thank you, Doug. I'm here to ask the secret recipe, those 11 herbs and spices. D, what's going on? Do you do competition? The only competition I've done 2 SCA events, and yes. All right, so please remember posting early in the morning on these East Coast. On the East Coast means we on the West Coast don't get to participate. 6 a.m. is just too early. I post my videos at 7 a.m. But yes, Eric says you don't need another smoker. Man, I do what I want. Mr. Morgan, how you doing this evening? Yep, that's exactly it, Pepper. Definitely. Craigslist Richmond. Craigslist Richmond. Richmond, Virginia. Bang. Oh, all right. All right. We're going to have to see. Okay. Victor says, almost forgot I wore my UDS t-shirt when I did my big cook for my new customers for the first time, but forgot to get a picture. Well, no worries, Victor. I'm sure there'll be plenty of additional times. Ken says, speaking of business cards, my wood guy has matches made up with his logo and phone number on the box. I've used that to call him more than looking than the number in the cell. Perfect. So I picked up a different one, Lou. We have a bullet bourbon. This is a barrel strength. So we're looking at 125-ish. Yeah. Getting in late, Garland says, what you sipping on? Oh, you just missed it, or you hopefully you saw. I'm sipping on some bullet bourbon this evening. Chocotini here. All right, Ken, nice. How much can you get for the racks of ribs? So for baby backs, I charge $25 per rack. I've never sold the spares, so I really don't know. But to be completely honest with you, I probably will sell spares. I mean, I think I got a smaller pack of spares, and it was two spares in the pack, and I got them. It was about $25, which means that I probably would want to sell them for $35 each. I'm not exactly sure though. I might even charge closer to $40 for a rack of spares because I really just need to make sure I recoup that. Again, the space they take up. Yeah. D Love says, how can I order from you? So just hit me up afterwards. The best way to get in touch with me, to be completely honest, while I am on the live stream, is going to be send me a message on Instagram, and then I'll give you my number, and then you can hit me up, and we can try to work something out. D Love, are you local to Baltimore? What's new, barbecue? How you doing this evening? Dash, have you ever turned down an order because it wasn't big enough or worth the expense to fire up the pit? Yes and no. So what I try to do is whenever I have an event that's like somebody says I want a pound of brisket. I'm like, I can't cook a pound of brisket. And I try to explain to them why I can't cook a pound of brisket. And I try to tell them, I was like, look, I have a minimum order. The minimum order is like 2.5 pounds or something. Now, one of the things, it depends, Grumpus. One of the other things, too, why I can possibly turn things down is because I'm busy. I'm doing something else. Or I have another job already scheduled. So there's those times. But aside from when I'm already busy or I'm already booked, the other time when I would turn things down is just when the order is just too small. Now, again, there are times where someone says, oh, I need 2 pounds of brisket or 2.5 pounds of brisket. All right. So what I'll try to do is I'll try to find the smallest brisket I can. Like actually, the order I have for tomorrow is the base order I have started me cooking was for 2.5 pounds of brisket. Now, the 2.5 pounds of brisket that I'm going to sell is not going to cover my cost of at least the brisket. So what I will end up having to do is take pictures and post up on Instagram and say, hey, basically, I have some brisket. If you want some brisket, shoot me a text message. I'll send you my address. You have to come and pick it up between this time and this time, and that's it. And then anything else that I don't sell, I will probably put into a freezer bag or something like that. But I want to at least make my money back. So, but there are times, Grumpus, when I'm like, I can't do that. Nah. Would you mind explaining how you market brisket and pricing per pound? Basically, I have talked about it. If you look in the videos, there is a frequently asked questions or an FAQ playlist. In that playlist, I talk about how I go about doing the pricing. Kirk says you still need to get more shirts. Will give us a deal if we combine an order. So, Kirk, I talked about it a little earlier. You might have missed it. I actually just put the t-shirt stuff up onto Teespring. It makes it a lot easier for me. I don't have to have the inventory here. The turnaround is not as fast because, of course, you're ordering and then they have to make it and then they send it, as opposed to me having to put the money up front for them to get printed and then having inventory here. You can order whatever size you want. There's multiple sizes. There's multiple colors, and then there's also hoodies available. if you were so interested. Unfortunately, I'm kind of pushed the T-shirt to Teespring until I can find a better market or a better place where to do it. Real Recognize Real says, where do you live? I saw you had an Eagles hat on in the video. Fly, Eagles, fly. So I am from Philadelphia, but I live in Baltimore. Still talking about salmon fishing. Stay tuned. Well, Jack, I'm looking forward to hearing about that. Yes, Brandon says baby backs are 100% better. People's Republic of Maryland. There's a reason I moved away from Maryland. You live in Front Royal, which is Virginia, and that personal property tax. Hell no. Uh, yeah. So Brandon says you don't have to trim baby backs like spares to get them to St. Louis style. Nope. You're absolutely right. And by the time you trim them to just get to St. Louis, they're about the same size as baby backs, but then you're kind of pushing all of that meat off, and then you got all. Nah, I'm not doing all of that. Too much time consuming. Carlos Robinson says, "What's going on? Nothing much, man." Lou says, "I do agree on the baby backs, though. I love spares too." All right. Well, D says, 2-year-old son won't lay down. Gotta run. I'm hitting a thumbs up so that I'll catch you later. Have a good night, all. Thank you very much, D. I appreciate that. He needs a lot more smokers this way. Mrs. Dash will put her foot down, and Bessie shall finally be mine. I will never sell Bessie. Eric says, Dash, can I self-promote sheepishly that I'm going to be on Deborah Barbecue's live show this Sunday? Nah, man, dude, that definitely. Look, I love Ricer. The only problem is he does it on Sundays, and Sundays are like family time for me, so I can't always be on the live streams on Sunday. There are a few times where he asked me to join him, and I kind of make time to be there for him. But unfortunately, it's just the time of day. The time I try to do family stuff on Sundays. Bongoso Broso says he's sipping on gin and juice. Dash, I find it great you have found a balance between family and business. Dude, I try, man. I try. It is not the easiest at times because I'll be completely honest, man. Um, you know, there's something to be said about having extra money in your pocket just to do whatever you want to do with. And when I have a few catering jobs lined up or a couple events where I'm just dropping food off for, like being tired, I forget about being tired when it's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to go buy another piece of camera equipment, or I'm going to spend money on this, or I'm going to go ahead and spend money on that, or I'm going to take the family out because I missed the Saturday, so let's all go out to dinner on Sunday. Those things are things I like to do. I like to do experiences, but then there are also times where I will stay up and cook for 12 to 18 hours all told, like prepping and getting food and then cooking and delivering. And by the time it's all said and done, I'm like, I'm not cooking nothing. Don't ask me for nothing. Just like leave me alone. But then I will make up for it by, like I said, taking us all out for dinner or something like that. All right. Terry says I charge $40 per rack of ribs. Well, thank you. Downingtown, Pennsylvania. All right. Well, I'm very familiar with Downingtown. Like I said, I grew up in Philadelphia. My mom actually lives in Delaware County. I know that's Chester County, where you are. But yeah, I'm familiar with where you are. You would have to meet me. If come down 95, meet me. That's what I tell people from my folks from Philly when they want food. They come down 95. They meet me. I have a Waffle House that I will tell you where it is, and I'll meet you there. So Johnny, that is Ricer's channel. Dead Barbecue of Wisconsin. Right? Bungles on the commercial. He said, How much is the order ribs? $2.50. Alright. Let me get one rib. One order ribs. No. I want one. He said, let me get one. One order ribs. He said, no. One rib. He said, okay. One rib. And he's like, that'll be, I think it's $2.50. And Chris Rock pulls out his money. He's peeling. You got change for honey? I'm gonna get you, sucker. If someone says they only want a pound or so, have you ever just bought a flat? No, I do not. I refuse. There was one time where I got caught and I ended up having to block. Like, only thing that was available was flats, and that was a learning experience. I just don't want to be that cooking flats. I rather cook. I want to cook a whole brisket. Victor says spare ribs cost less per pound, but take longer to cook. I do better with baby backs because of the time savings. And in my part of the state, folks prefer baby backs, so that makes it simple. Sure enough. I may have a guy or two here for shirts. I'll hit him up when I talk to him. Well, thank you, sir. So if you look underneath the videos, you should see them now. You can see the information. Oh, wait. You're saying that you may have a guy or two for shirts that are trying to order them, or that someone that might be able to help me order shirts. Bourbon with Dash. All right. Yeah. So her. All right, Brandon, that's what's up. Pretty much right outside my restaurant door. Well, is that the one where Jimmy was a part of? That barbecue event? Don Loop says hi, folks. It's got to be barrel proof. I'm drinking 110. All right, Eric. I just saw that you would be on the live this Sunday. I'll try to catch it on my way home. About 30 minutes. Listening in the car will turn me up. John from 4J's. Yes. Yo, Lou, Waffle House is the truth. Yo, let me get the chicken and waffles. Actually, the chicken and eggs, the chicken lovers and eggs. Yo, I need my eggs over hard, hash brown, smothered, covered, and topped, cinnamon raisin bread, and my wife and I were gonna do a double waffle, and then she orders whatever she orders. Yo, ordering at the Waffle House, you gotta get it there. Just like the cooks cook to a science, you gotta get your order down to a science. So yeah, I'm gonna get you, sucker. It's still a great movie. Dude had a fishbowl shoes. Yes. Oh no. You know what, Eric? It is, because it's sitting here, and it's definitely not as hot as it was when I took that first sip. So I'm gonna cover the ice again, and whew, you know, I ain't no sipper. You know, I ain't playing. You know, we putting the hurting on this one already. It wasn't a cheap bottle either. You know what it is. Zach Attack says, yo. Brandon says, I worked as a manager at a Waffle House for about 2 years. And, yo. So then you probably know, man. I'm kind of pissed. They took the chicken and waffles off of the quick menu, and it's only on the original menu or the long menu. And, like, sometimes I go into Waffle Houses, and if the person that's behind the counter or the waitress or whoever hasn't been there very long, they kind of look at you funny when you order the chicken and eggs. They're like, chicken and eggs? And then you have someone else who's more experienced kind of just tells them, yeah. All right. Cheers! What's going on, man? How you doing this evening? Hopefully I was helpful. I know you reached out to me a week or so ago. Savage True, hello. Actually got to get you Worcester knives like butter babies. I wish I could, man. I think those knives that I think you're talking about, they are pricey. Actually, was looking at a knife sharpener today. I might pull the trigger on, but I ordered a knife sharpener, and it's like $60, $70. I take my knives to get sharpened. They cost me $45, $50. I get them sharpened once or twice a year, and they are sharp when they're done. But I don't know. Just keeping up with the comments. Yee. I know, Kirk. Check me out. I'm not telling long stories tonight. What do you got to say about the bite through skin? Bite through skin on what? That's my challenge. On bite through skin on ribs, on chicken, on turkey, on what? Hey, mark plates with condiments to signify what food goes on the plate. Like a jelly packet that's centered the plates is eggs over medium. Y'all need my eggs over hard. None of that over medium stuff. Yes, Lou. Waffle House definitely has its own language. Smothered covered is like talking dirty. Nah, man. Smothered and covered, man. That's I need smothered covered in top. That's fried onions, cheese, and chili. All right. I almost forgot. Well, thank you. Thank you. Johnny, I appreciate that. He says, almost forgot. Congrats on 16,000 subscribers. Yo. It boggles my mind. So, seriously. Bongo Sabroso says, did someone say baby back ribs on mom's next grill? The tabletop gas grill offset the ribs and put on the opposite burner. The lower settings, wrapped them, and it came out banging. All right. That's what's up. I will be posting the pics this weekend. Oh, John, yo, John. I actually need some. I'm going to need some advice from you because Kirk, I don't know if you saw last week. He told me information or sent me information about picking up a 500-gallon propane tank, and I would love to get your input on how and or what I need to do to get it worked on, to get it. Yeah, I need it. Couple trails past weekend, competitive thighs through the skin is achievable, but a lot goes into it. All right. Yeah. Chicken. So in order to get chicken to be the point where it's edible, the skin at least, you have to cook it at a higher temperature. Point blank. There is no getting around cooking chicken at higher temperature. Mike Jenkins says, "How did I start advertising for my business? Word of mouth. If the food is good enough, the food will speak for itself. You don't have to do any sort of advertising. I used to take food to work and sit in the break room, warm my food up, and it would kill the entire break room. As soon as somebody would come into the break room, and then like the offices around the break room, I'd have people coming in. They're like, yo, what is that smell? What is that? And I'm like, oh, yo, some of this right here. Hold on. You know what? Here, taste it. And that's it right there. If the food is good enough, it'll sell itself. Guaranteed. There's no need for advertising. And people ask me all the time, what is your advertising budget? I really don't have an advertising budget. The only advertising I do where I've done is I bought shirts, t-shirts, I bought business cards, I bought stickers, I bought calendars. Those are the only merchandising or marketing things that I've done. I've never paid for an online advertisement. I've never paid for an ad on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. None of that. So that's my only advertising. Grumpus says he bought a set 20 years ago, still loves them. Yeah, well, real recognize real. Just let me know. We gotta work it out. But the best way to get in touch with me is to send me a message on Instagram, because that's how I can kind of get it right now. And then I can give you my phone number, and then we can work it out. Yes, indeed, Kirk. I am still a regular guy. 16,000 subscribers doesn't mean anything. Pepper Lane says, I just bought a Masterbuilt 1050 Gravity Charcoal Smoker as my personal weekday cooker. Been playing with it this week. Going to load it up this weekend. Brisket, butt, ribs, and a loin. That's what's up. I watched Anderson Smoke Show. I watched him put together his, and I can't remember if it was the 1050 or if it was the 560, whichever one it was. But I just watched him put it together, and then I watched another video comparing the two. I'm interested. I'm interested. Not like I have $600 or whatever it was for it to for it, and I already have enough cookers, as you guys all know. But I mean, I'd definitely be interested in it. So Zach says, how often do you take time to professional sharpen? Are you doing it yourself? Two times a year. Perfect. With your rib cooks, do you spritz, wrap, or just let them roll? So Eric, I'm not going to answer that question because I have 3 rib cook videos coming up next week. Well, 2 probably next week. And I've debated, do you guys want to see 3 rib videos? Like next week can be rib week. I have 3 videos that I still need to edit. I'm going to say they're ready. I still need to edit. I have beef ribs, I have baby back ribs, and I have spare ribs. You guys, tell me, do you want to see 3 videos next week, or do you want to just, let me do my Tuesday, Wednesday live stream, Thursday, And then next Tuesday, the following Tuesday, I'll have the next rib video. That would be a jelly packet on the far left side of the plate. The oval plate sits vertically on the board, and over hard would be in the center to the far right side of the plate. Well, Brandon, I'm sure you probably cooked way more eggs than I care to even think about. Da, 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 da. I'll go to Broso, man. I looked at those knives. One of my friends was talking about knives the other day, and he brought up those very knives from Costco, and I looked at them and I was like, oh man, oh man. I think he's asking for a bite through, no pull instead of crispy, right? No. I mean, you gotta. Uh, let's see. I think he's asking for a bite through, no pull instead of crispy. But like for chicken, like I don't know how to explain it, man. Like it's just one of those things where the high heat is going to give you a bite through. It's not going to be crispy, but it's going to be edible. It's not going to be leathery or rubbery. It's going to be edible. Now, one of the other things that you can do to help rehydrate chicken skin is to actually put some moisture on it. You can put some moisture on it via barbecue sauce. You can put some moisture on it via like a butter or like a honey or something along those lines. You have to rehydrate it. You might even be able to spritz it with something that will give you it'll reintroduce some hydration, and it'll help make that skin more pliable, as opposed to it being dried out or rubbery. Maceo definitely crack samples. All right, I'm a child of the '80s through and through. Mm-hmm. Sam's I need brisket. Luckily, I had some butts in the freezer to get my barbecue fix on anyone else. So, Eric, today I went into Sam's, and I won't say I had a difficult time. I bought a brisket. The brisket is bigger than I needed. I wanted a brisket closer to about 10 pounds, but the brisket I ended up getting was closer to 15. I mean, it is what it is. I will have some brisket left over for my family. I will have some brisket left over to sell, but I wasn't really trying to sell a whole bunch of brisket on a Thursday. But Sam's has been, I won't say striking out, but Sam's, or at least the Sam's that I went to, they had a lot more flats than they had whole briskets. But the price of beef at Sam's is lower, which is probably the reason why you're also having a hard time finding it. The price at Sam's is under $3 a pound for brisket, for a choice brisket. At Restaurant Depot, I think it's closer to $4, like three and a half, almost $4 for that same choice brisket. Biggest thing, scrape the fat on the inside of the skin until it's almost transparent. Okay. 3,200 eyeballs that see your face in food, bro. That's extra regular. Hey, Kirk, man, just because I have 16,000 subscribers does not mean that 16,000 people are watching. Oh, we can sit and talk some numbers, man. Actually, shoot, yeah, I just keep drinking on this. My lips might get looser and looser because I can tell you I didn't make that much money off of YouTube last year. Rubber Kettle Ranch is like 37 inches of diameter. I have actually Justin from Baby Back Maniac. He cooked the one, and if you haven't checked out Justin's latest video, I think it's his latest video, Baby Back Maniac. He cooked a single hot dog on his Weber Kettle Ranch. It was a hilarious video. If you have not seen that video, I highly recommend you check it out. After meeting Justin in person, I can only say nice things about Justin. He is such a kind soul, a nice person, and he is just as genuine in person as he is in the videos. And if you saw his videos talking about the Weber smoke fire, like he was genuinely upset about that whole deal. Like I could see how upset he was with that whole situation, and like it just wasn't. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That master built 1050 looks all, it is awesome. Whoa, what the hell? We thank you. Sorry about that. All right. What's your favorite barbecue smoke? I guess what's my favorite meat? Lamb and salmon are becoming my favorites because they cook so fast. Pull Bessie out for the ribs. No. See, this is one of the things you guys don't understand. I only cook on Bessie when I have to. Everybody's like, you should cook on Bessie. You should cook on Bessie. No, it costs me way more money to cook on Bessie, to run Bessie, than it does on any other smoker because Bessie runs off of wood. So you figure I need to make X number of dollars in order to run that smoker. Period. And if I'm not making enough money, I can't run that smoker, or I don't run that smoker. Now, one of the other things too, I'm low on wood right now, so I'm trying to conserve the wood until I get a big enough cook. I'll get a big enough cook. I can, spend the $200 on another cord of wood, and I won't lose any money. But go so Russell says do all three videos next week. We'll see. Can you really see too many ribs? Not me. Grumpus says. How long to let the pork butts and the brisket rest? I like to let them rest for at least 1 hour. I like rib week. Sounds better than shark week. Pepper? Well, thank you. Good call. Silver Stag knives. I own 3. Well worth the money. All right. Definitely better than shark week. Taylor Breed. Dude, I'm telling you, I had already thought about, rib week, but I was trying to figure out if I was going to try to do some sort of promo video or what. I'll think about it. Basically, I have tomorrow to edit something. If I edit something tomorrow, I might put something up on Friday or Saturday. And if I do something on Friday or Saturday, I might post a video on Sunday. So it'll be Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday we'll do our regular, live stream, and then Thursday. So we shall see. Eric says yes, all 3. High temp like 300, 3,000 or better. 300, yes. I try to cook chicken at between 275 and 300. Mac knives are some lower price professional knives, as touted as the sharpest knives in the world. Restaurant Depot, William said. I know, but see, the whole thing with Restaurant Depot is there's a Sam's on my way home. And if I could stop at Sam's and kill 2 birds with 1 stone by getting brisket and this, like some things I might need for the house, for the family, then I'll stop there as opposed to having to go to Restaurant Depot. Michael says, I cooked my first prime brisket recently, trimmed, rubbed, and smoked to an internal of 160 at the stall, wrapped in foil to 200, and came out feeling dry and pot roasty. Any idea what may have happened? If it came out dry and pot roasty, then you might have needed to let it cook a little bit longer. It might have been the seasoning. You may have gotten it to 160 too fast. There's a plethora of different things, man. We would have to kind of have this conversation offline because there's so many questions I have. 246 for brisket here in Florida. It was 278, I believe it was. 278 for brisket. I tried that, scraped skin, and that was the first time it worked. How much overflow from Cash's will your family eat? My family is bored with commercial flavors. How much overflow from caters will your family eat? My family is bored with commercial flavors. I understand. Easy Bake, yo, what's up with you? This is just improved that dog. Dude, Grumpus, it was hilarious. And he was like... Eric, that was... Oh my gosh. Whoa. Sorry. I don't know why. Stop it! Oh my gosh. We gotta figure out how to turn the zoom off. Okay. Be careful there. Oh man. Sorry. Dash 3D, yeah. It was hilarious. Insulated vertical smoker for the win. Charcoal and wood chunks. Yes, Taylor. Best competition chicken video was scraping the meat and getting the bite through with Harry. So, if you say so, yo, what the heck? Just doing it again. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to touch the screen. It's something weird with the screen. William Reed says, what type of wood do I normally use in my area? Oak is the most prevalent, so that is what I use primarily. Brad says, catering. What's your gold profit margin per job? And what have you found to be your minimum margin before you just say it isn't worth it? So to be completely honest with you, Brad, I don't have a profit margin in mind. Usually I can, I'll make money. I'll make money. The whole thing is, and this is one of the things I want you to understand, the bigger the catering event, the higher the profit margin. Because your fire is going to cost you so much. Your meat is going to cost you so much. Your time and energy is going to cost you so much. So if you can cram, 100 pounds of meat in the same that you can cram 20 pounds of meat, the profit margin is going to be that much higher. So what you need to do is maximize your sales in order to increase your profit margin. So I don't necessarily have a profit margin in mind. My prices are my prices, and they are what they are. Do I make money almost every time I cook? Yes. Have I lost money on cooks? Yes. Those are the times when my family literally eats my profits. Like if I cook a brisket and they're like, "Daddy, can we have some of this or can we have some of that?" Or I'll cook ribs and I'll cook 3 racks of ribs and I'll sell two. Two will cover the cost of the racks, but I mean, selling three is that much better, right? But I mean, it happens. It happens. We love Bessie. We love Bessie, and it's. I'll bring you to Cherrywood. Lots. Fire up, Bessie. Well, come on, Eric. You got a long way to go. Mm-hmm. All right, so Taylor B says, having a wood source is the biggest drawback of any offset smoking. Do you have a wood guy? I do. If you've been around my channel long enough, you've seen videos, I do have an arborist. Okay. My arborist, his name is Bob, and you've seen him in videos from time to time. Bob is like an 80-plus-year-old man, and he probably outworked me. But I love Bob. Bob is so fun, and he every time I get talk to him or he brings me wood, he tells me a story darn near. And Bob, I love seeing Bob around, and I actually look for Bob when I'm driving around, and I get happy when I see Bob. I saw Bob last on Sunday, and it's just one of those things where I'm going this way and he's coming this way, and I saw him and like, look, there's Bob. So like I said, I get excited when I see Bob because he's an older man and I do worry about Bob. Bongo Sotoroso, no, sir, I do not. I doctor up something off the shelf. It makes it much easier for myself. Do you sell the brisket? I know you say brisket by the pound. Was wondering how much per pound. Right now, I'm currently selling it at $16 per pound. It is undervalued. I know that I can charge more per pound. I just kind of haven't adjusted because, yeah, it's one of those things where I don't want to outprice the market. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I know. Thank you, CXK. Appreciate that. Mike, how you doing? Took some gator shake to my neighbor for him to cook chicken with. He's having me order him a 12-ounce bottle. That's what's up. I'm late to the party. Do you ever use sous vide to reheat? If so, any recommendations? So, Patrick, yes, I have. I've used the sous vide to reheat food one time so far, and it worked. The only problem with the sous vide, and this is one of those things where if you have a sous vide, you're going to understand exactly what I'm going to say. Because of the sous vide taking something to this temperature here, there's no carryover heat. As soon as you take it out of the heat, out of the water bath, it loses temperature, and because of that, you kind of have to like get it to a heat source, if you will. 6K says, I just started catering and I did a 72-hour order ahead. What do you think and how did I start? So normally I tell people at this point that I need 24 to 48 hours notice, and I tell them point blank. I say, and people are like, why do I need to call you and let you know ahead of time? Okay, I tell people it could take me 12 hours to cook your food. Okay, so if you want something at noon, that means I need to start it at midnight the night before, right? And if I'm starting at midnight the night before, that means I need to have the food by like noon that day. Okay, so let's say I'm cooking on a Saturday and I need to have your food done at noon on Saturday, which means I need to start it at midnight Saturday morning, which means I need to have it at noon on Friday afternoon. When you break it down to people and they understand why you need to have the certain lead time, then people are more prone to be like, oh, okay, cool. But there are other times when people are just like, like, oh my gosh, man, it's just one of the things. So some of you guys know who've been around a while know that I used to sell food via Instagram, and I used to take pictures and basically say who wants what, who wants lunch. I have this available, that available, this available, that available. Well, I stopped posting a lot of pictures of the things that I was doing on Instagram because I get people that are like, "Yo, you still selling food?" Yes, I'm still selling food, but you have to order it ahead of time. Yo, but I'm trying to eat right now. I can't feed you right now. This picture is from a cook I did over the weekend. It's now Tuesday. That was Saturday. I don't have any food right now. I'm not just sitting here with food in my refrigerator like I used to. I don't do that anymore. It's been 3 years since I've been doing the whole ordering food or like taking pictures of food, ordering it, them being able to order it. So when I post pictures and people are like, "Yo, you got anything available today?" No, I don't. You have to order food ahead of time, but people don't think ahead of time. People don't they see it and they want it right now. It's you know right then and there, and unfortunately, yeah. William says same here. Maybe looking at the tree service companies and see if they'll have food for you. Sometimes they drop off or on your property for free. I looked out and got some cherry. Started GoFundMe. Betsy Wood Fund. Easy bake. Much easier said than done. It's just bigger. When I do shows and festivals, wants help and labor taken out, it's more profitable to do private caterers. I do them more than anything. Well, so Kirk, the only thing is when I do bigger events, um, how do I put this? I'm not like the one big event that I have. They allow me to bill them for my labor rate for all of my labor, though what I'm paying the folks for their labor is not what I'm billing, right? So I'm making more money, and I'm probably using less people than you are too, which is helping to keep my profits or to keep my costs down. But also, like big festivals and things like that, I'm not doing those. I can't really do those yet. But we can kind of talk offline and compare notes. Do you mind sharing how much you charge for each item, pulled pork wings, etc.? Thanks, trying to figure it out. If you want to make a jump into catering, appreciate the videos. With Brad, you have to go out to my website, man. Just it's all out there on the website, steeldrumsmokers.com. Bob the Arborist sounds awesome. I had not seen him in your videos. We'll look for him. Just like look for stacking and like stacking wood or something like that. Just do a search on wood in my videos. Tired of cooking chicken wings and thighs. Might understand. Found a tree out back that fell a few years ago. It was cherry wood. Been cutting and splitting it up. We sat on wood for a while. Eric, you say that now. I used to say the same thing. Oh, come on, man. I did it again. I'm sorry. I hate cooking brisket. You lose so much money on it. William, I agree. But you know what? I tell you what, brisket, if you get the brisket right, that's what people come back for. Brisket can be a gateway drug. Oh man. In your state area, do you have to get special licenses to cook and sell from your home? Brad, we don't talk about stuff like that. Patrick, your sous vide reasoning makes total sense again. You are the catering whisperer. Great work. Dude, and that's the thing, man. Like, Patrick, it's one of those things where, and I said it just the way that I said it because if you have a sous vide and you've used the sous vide, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because when you cook with higher heat and the outside radiates the heat to the middle, it carries over. The cook carries over and it'll stay hot for a while. If I'm cooking something in sous vide and I'm cooking it to like, even if I'm cooking something like potatoes, right? And I'm cooking them to 165 degrees or 170 degrees or 180. I can't remember last time I've done potatoes, but I cooked them at a rather high temperature in comparison to like what I would cook meat to. Even they didn't stay hot for very long, and it's frustrating. I'm sure using a torch and other things like that to put some heat on the outside helps, but food gets cold in the sous vide very quickly. What else would I do? in my videos that you have seen. What else should I do in my videos that you've seen? Mike, not sure, not 100% sure. I'd have to look at your videos a little bit more. Kirk says, I make a killing doing brisket platters. And you can, man. You can. And it's one of those things where if you get brisket right, if you do brisket correctly, people are going to pay for it. I have been toying with the idea of raising my prices. I just haven't raised my prices. And nothing, not for nothing. It's just I haven't. Let me see here. Come on. Oh, I'm trying to check out your channel, Mike. Not taking me to your channel. Used to one of the options. Danny, I am in my home. I don't need a mask. So there's that. William says, I'm in Florida and they love it. However, when you give them that price, I like to do when I'm vending at my competitions, I gain so many clients from brisket. Because people can't cook briskets, man. People can't cook brisket. And I mean, it's just that simple. It's sad, but brisket is a very difficult meat for some people to cook, and it's just basically because people don't have the patience to cook briskets. Mike says briskets make me nervous because of the price and my time. If you have, because I only get 34 hours off from work. Well, I mean, I understand, but you know, you gotta commit, man. You know, I tell the story all the time about how I was working on my wife's car and I called my father-in-law and I'm like, Pop, you know, I need some help, man. I can't get this roller off the car. He said, well, what are you doing? He said, yeah, I told him what I was doing. He said, you're using a piece of wood and you're hitting like the sledgehammer on the wood. I'm like, yeah. He's like, nah, man, take the wood out and hit it. I'm like, Pop, I've been smacking this thing. He said, nah, take the wood out and hit it. And the whole thing is sometimes you just need somebody to hold your hand or pat you on the back or give you that kick that you need. That's how brisket is, man. And I'm going to tell you this, Mike. I don't want you to hear me. Hear me, Mike. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. You're going to mess some of them up. That's it. But once you start messing them up and you start realizing how much money you don't want to waste messing them up, you'll get it right or you will stop doing them. There's only two sides to that coin. Ask me how I know. Go ahead. Ask me how I know. I'll wait. All right. Danny, week is going good. Come July, but I believe we can no longer use foam containers where my prices will have to change slightly due to this. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. I was reading a comment. Corey said brisket is low and slow. Eric, all right, glad it's not just me. Like, because I have had 7 years, it took me 7 years to get brisket right. Do you know how many wasted briskets I had, how much brisket soup I ate, and how much brisket I just plain threw away? Yeah. Ryan in Texas, barbecue guy, says he's home. Well, get a beer, have a drink, sit down, and join the conversation. Chris also wanted to know how I know. Mike says I only have Instagram. Well, Mike, I have seen you just like tag me or like, at me on Instagram so I can look back. But I have seen, and you've seen that I've seen because I have liked a couple of your pictures and such. So, yeah, there's that. Twaski says, what's up, Dash? I learned brisket from you and doctored it up a little. The family lives it now. I guess they love it. Well, I'm glad to hear. Speaking of the truth, gotta take the dive. The expensive cut is scary. But the more you deal with it, the less scary it is. You get a feel for it. It's more feel than a temp meat. You're right, Taylor, to an extent, but you can use the temperature to get the right feeling. And one goes with the other. And I talk about that in tomorrow's video too. The potato vodka is out and about. It can be. That's why you practice. When you figure out brisket, stick with it. I agree. Sean says, yo, I'm late. But what's good, my barbecue people? Ah, man, we did it again. I'm sorry. I keep holding my finger on the screen too long and it zooms in on the video. I'm apologizing now, At least, I don't have blackheads all on my nose and my nose is clean. All right, yeah. That's annoying. Yeah, Rich. It was so much easier to go on plenty other people's channels when you could just click on the dots and then boom, take me to the other channel. Brisket Gumbo, Fox, these FD brisket cooks. Where's Dash? Ask me how I know. Brisket Gumbo, folks. Those effed brisket cooks. No beer, we drinking bourbon tonight. Well, some of us are drinking bourbon, but not everybody's drinking bourbon. After you get tired of messing it up, you'll find out what you're doing wrong. That's exactly it, William. I got my DBA and tax ID. I'm moving forward from just being a handsome man on YouTube. You were a handsome man on YouTube? Hold on. Where? Man, you don't even wear shoes in your videos. How are you a handsome man? Here come the drunken fingers. Yeah, buddy, Kirk. You see, it took me 3 times to even decipher a little bit of that. I recall that horrifying price tag on the first few briskets made cooking more difficult, being nervous. Not so much now. Thankfully, it really comes down to being patient. Taylor, didn't I say that earlier? I said the difference between someone who can cook brisket and someone who can't is patience. Patience is the key when doing brisket. That's it. That's it. It is hard for a newbie, Taylor says. You're exactly it. It's Dash Headroom. Yes, indeed. I'm probably one of the only people in here that remembers Max Headroom. Was it Pepsi Max? What? Max Headroom was on. It was on a movie or something first, and then it was in Pepsi, right? Was it Total Recall or something? What's your thoughts on cooking half a brisket at a time for practicing purposes? For what, Chris? If you cook if you're cooking half a brisket, then you're gonna learn how to cook half a brisket. If you're cooking a whole brisket, then you're gonna learn how to cook a whole brisket. Which are you trying to get better at? Cooking half briskets or cooking whole briskets? I think the question has already been answered for you. What's up, Jack and Betty? How you guys doing this evening? Jack says, if you're like me, I have no explanation of a good cook. That way you can, no expectation of a good cook. That way you can only go up. Agreed. Set someone's expectations and exceed it. Sound like Walt Disney. Bumpy says he's drinking gin. Well, good for you. Brisket is tough. Tried it once. Not fond of cooking it. That's just because you just haven't done it right. When you get brisket right, you're going to want to do another one like the next day. Guaranteed it. You're not even going to have that first one. It's not even going to be finished eating yet or finished cooking it yet. And you're going to want to do another one. Patrick says, I don't cater, but once or twice a year, I cook for enough people. Excuse me, that it probably should be catered. I've learned so much from you. You do a lot for beginners and those wanting to know more. Thanks. Well, thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Patrick. Definitely appreciate it. And I tell you, just like I tell everyone else, when you tell me that I'm helping you out, that helps me want to help you guys that much more. Joaquin, no problem, sir. Like I said, I want everybody to level up. If I can do it, you can do it. So yes. Brian, I do not love your feet, and they are not sexy at all. I be cringing, man. Like, yo, he's gonna drop something on his foot, or he's gonna drop some ash on his foot. Like, yo, I be cringing, man. Like, I've been doing more content, trying to do 1 to 2 videos a week. I've been seeing them. I haven't been commenting, but I've seen a couple. One of the things I will say is turn your phone sideways. There's been a couple where you had it still up and down. I saw you in the diner. I saw you making lunch a couple times. I saw you do some chicken. I don't always comment because there are times when I'm watching, I see your videos while I'm driving, and of course I kind of keep watching them, and it's just my fault on not going back to comment. But yeah, Easy Bakes is MTV, so I guess Max Headroom was a DJ or VJ on MTV, and then it just kind of crossed over. Okay. I just started smoking barbecue last summer, and it's been fun experience so far and learning from some YouTubers. Well, Mike, that's what's up. Many purposes will cut it in half before cooking, mess up the cook, and that's why I asked about half. No, it won't mess up the cook, but like, there's some people who separate a brisket. Like, the only people who really separate briskets to separate a brisket is going to be from competition standpoint, in my opinion. To me, I really want to cook the brisket whole because, again, if you want to learn how to cook brisket, you got to cook it the way you don't cut a turkey in half and cook half the turkey. You're gonna cook the whole turkey rather. Um, it's just one of those things where you kind of have to bite the bullet. Now I understand because cooking a brisket point is going to be different from cooking a brisket flat separately. So it's just, to me, it's just not going to work out the same way. And by the time it's all said and done, you just cook the whole thing. Excuse me. Now, one of the other things I can tell you is that if you talk to someone or wherever you get your briskets from or wherever you can, try to buy the smallest brisket possible. Do not buy a 20-pound brisket or 21-pound brisket. No. Like, the maximum size brisket I ever want to cook is like a 15-pound brisket, because they just take too long to cook once they're bigger than that. Bumpy. There's some things like there's. I love Alton, Alton. I love Alton. There's just certain things I don't agree with, and just that's like a Texas style beginner brisket. Um, to me, if you are a beginner, that's too much to be doing in a video, or excuse me, too much to be doing on a brisket. You want it to be simple as possible. This is all you have to do in order to cook the brisket. That's about it. There were some advanced techniques that he was doing that he's been doing for such a long time that, I just don't necessarily agree with. And nothing against Alton. Like I said, I love Alton, but a beginner, the fewer the amount of steps, the better. And like I said, some of the things he was doing were a little advanced for what I would think a beginner. Like, if I told my kids to watch that video and cook a brisket, they might cut themselves because they are trimming the brisket a little too aggressively. Again, in my opinion, you've seen how I trim briskets. I only trim the fat off of the briskets. I'm not going to round this corner and nope, 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 nope. And then one of the other things too, I tell you, in Texas, where brisket is so much cheaper, you can afford to trim a brisket like that as aggressively as he did. I'm not doing that. That's money that I'm throwing down the drain that's being wasted. Now he says he's going to do something with it. Now imagine he's going to be making some sausage or something with it, or like a chili or something along those lines. But like I said, I don't 100% agree with that video. Kirk Kirk says Patrick stick with him. He turned my backyard into a business. When I got my first custom stick burner, I smoked brisket 6 weekends in a row. Dude, I'm telling you, when you get it right, you just want to keep doing it. Taylor says, Dash, you're on the best instructive barbecue YouTubers out there. I've put up with the T-Roy Hooks and Smoking Ribs barbecue inspiration, and so willing to share. It put you up there with T-Roy Cooks and Smoky Ribs barbecue. Inspiration is so willing to share. Well, thank you so very much, Taylor. I appreciate that. Brian says, I love your videos and live streams. You've inspired me so much. Well, I mean, come on, y'all just pat me on the back. I mean, I appreciate that. But yo, I'm serious, man. If I can do it, you can do it. Yeah, yeah. Dale says, I thought briskets were all the same when I started. What was I wrong? I used choice of prime. Select was dry. Do you have the same issue? Well, the whole thing is, it's one of those things where you kind of just have to cook it right. And you might have, and again, someone else was talking about this. They tried one and it came out roast beefy. You might have needed more seasoning. You might have just needed to let it cook slower. Sometimes the lower choice meats will need to be cooked slower because there's not as much fat to render out and to give it that, that flavor, that juiciness that's unique. And sometimes it's just going to take longer and you need to cook them slower. I learned a lot from you. Thank you very much, Christina says. I appreciate that. All right. No first witness. She was introduced in early 85. Max Headroom is a fictional artificial intelligence AI character known for his wit and stuttering electronically altered voice. He was introduced in early 1985. Yo, what's up? How you doing, Grill Sergeant? Sir? Thanks, Kirk. This is Malcolm Reed of Catering. Well, I appreciate that, Patrick. I wish I could get paid like Malcolm Reed does. You do help a lot. I'm very thankful. Well, I appreciate it, Mike. I really do appreciate it. I do not inject anything. I am a keep it simple type stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. And I don't do anything fancy. No marinades, no injections. I mean, just really. Are you generating business? You charge by the pound. Are you generating business? Yes, Kenneth, I am. But I don't. I charge by the pound for certain things. For the most part. Uh, there are times where I do whole cooks, whole briskets, whole legs of lamb, things like that. But for the most part, almost everybody buys something by the pound or by the piece. Have you cooked on a direct coal pit? No, Clay, I have not. Because, I mean, aside from like a regular grill, but never smoked anything on a direct coal pit. Buy the cheapest briskets you can find. I like the select ones, about 10 pounds at Walmart when you can. I make them consistent and then move the choice of prime. Have you ever brined a brisket? No. First brisket tasted like a steak. Well, I mean, that's understandable. Um, but was it a bad steak or was it a good steak? My brother-in-law just tried to cook a brisket. He had it wrapped in foil from start to finish. Came out like a roast. I was laughing so hard. Well, Brian, man, not everybody can, get it right. This is what your science how you choose good brisket in the package, and the same for ribs. So, I guess Mr. and Mrs. White. I don't know what's the C stand for. To be honest, I usually buy my briskets. Like you see, some people want to pick up a brisket and flex a brisket and do this and do that. I pick my briskets for the most part by what the weight says on the package. I know how much I have to cook and how much I have to have. So I do my picking of the briskets based on how much I need. Sometimes it works, other times it doesn't. Other times I can, like, there have been times when I've just dumb luck picked up a brisket that was like 14 pounds, knowing I needed 8 pounds of brisket, and got it home and it'll be a big old piece of fat on it. And I mean, it happens. It happens. But for more often than not, I choose my briskets by the starting weight because I know how much I need on the tail end. I don't. I'm not one of, like I said, I'm not one of these people that wants to flex the brisket and look at it and flip it over and man, I ain't got time for all of that. I go in the store, I pick up a brisket, I'm in the line, I pay for it, I'm out the door, I start the cooking. That's it. I inject pork butts with apple juice or apple cider vinegar, water, Worcestershire sauce, pork rub, melted butter, and a real maple syrup. I ain't got time for all of that, man. If you're doing some sort of competition barbecue, then cool. But my pork shoulder comes out just as pulled pork delicious as the next. And I mean, that's that's great, but I'm not doing any competitions, man. I'm cooking backyard barbecue. Backyard barbecue is simple. You don't need all of that. What's the best temp for a brisket? I use the offset smoker. It's a Charbroil 40-inch deluxe that I use. Mike, I try to cook briskets at between 250 and 275. I try to keep my briskets at between 250 and 275. Again, because I'm not trying to spend 13 hours, 14 hours cooking a damn brisket. I ain't got time for that. Um, Now, once I wrap a brisket, will I increase the temperature? Yes. I will increase the temperature on the brisket to closer to 300, but that's about it, and that just shaves time, cooking time off of the brisket. Just again, if I'm using charcoal or if I'm using wood, I'm just trying to save time by saving fuel and saving money in the long run. William says, I'm a fan, bro. Keep up the good work. I actually placed third in a competition using some information I took from you. Well, why you stealing, man? You admit stealing? That's that's how we going. Nah, man. Well, I'm glad I could help, man. I'm glad I could help. Uh, da, 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 da. Malcolm Reed gets paid because he's competes. So when you want to come play an account with me, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Yeah, sure thing. I was thinking about doing leg of the lamb. Any tips? It depends, man. We can. It depends on what you're going for. If you're going to slice the lamb, then I would say cook the lamb to like 135, 140 degrees. You want it like less than medium, so like a mid rare. If you're looking for like a shredded leg of lamb, then I actually had someone hit me up over the weekend, and he was asking about a shredded leg of lamb, and he was talking about taking it to like 195. And I was like, yeah, I guess I've never taken one up that high, but I mean, like a pulled leg of lamb, yeah, I think that might be the ticket. Bumpy says Scott's barbecue or Franklin barbecue. I can tell you, I've never been to either. I've been to Austin, and I was in Austin like back in the day before Franklin had his Franklin spot. And Scott's, the closest I've come to Scott's has been me going to Myrtle Beach, and where he is in South Carolina. I think he's like another 45 minutes to an hour away, and I just never got to his place. And one of the things I'll tell you, between the two of those places, I probably would eat at Franklin's first before Scott's. Scott's does more pulled pork than anything because he's cooking whole hogs. I don't necessarily know if he's doing like briskets or things like that. Plus, South Carolina is known for their barbecue. Barbecue in South Carolina is pulled pork. I don't eat pork, so yeah, I got nothing. So I'd probably be more prone to eat at Franklin's. But if I had the choice to go back to Franklin's, and if I'm going to eat somewhere, I'm eating at Valentina's. Valentina's and Louis Mueller's. Those two spots, wow, like mind blowing. That's the way I do. I choose the math and trim the cook down. Exactly right, Brian. Texas, man, trust me. Kirk says, don't bother. Just buy my lamb. Trust me, it's worth every penny. Actually, so Brian, I do live south of the Mason-Dixon line, so technically I am in the south. Ever use pecan? I have not. Just not something I get prevalent. Dale says brisket is $4.99 around my area. What do you get it at? It depends. I picked up some brisket today at Sam's. It was $2.78. But that's just that's just what the price is currently. More often than not, it's closer to $3 and some change, $4. Kirk, yes, is right. I can ship. What's a good wireless thermometer? If you look in the description of this video, I have I have links for the what's that thing called? The Ivation or the Maverick long range wireless thermometer. I love those. I have 4 of them, and I love them to death. I use them almost every single cook. I have the Maverick XR50. I'm not actually a fan of it. I will use it when I'm cooking at the house or in the house because the transmitter, like you have to set everything from the transmitter and not the receiver. I am a fan of the older design where you actually set everything from the receiver and not the transmitter, because if I need to make a change to the temperature or adjust something, I can, as opposed to having to make the adjustment out at the smoker and then walk back in the house. It's stupid. Meat thermometers are good. They are expensive. I actually would love to try one, though they are expensive. Just haven't bit the bullet and bought one yet. Smoked mutton, baby. Mutton is different than lamb. Jack says I've increased my smoking days more now. With the crap going around, I don't have people stopping around and shop as much. So there's that. Yeah. It's the difference between select and prime briskets as well. It could be. Plus my business. Yeah, I understand, Jack. Meat Planet has prime for $1.99. Well, that's again you being in Texas and getting it that price. Nolans for Life says I ever smoked beef cheeks. I saw some in Sam's the other day. I don't think I have smoked them. But I've seen it. I think the reason why I haven't smoked beef cheeks is because they come in too big of a pack. But cachete, I know. Beef cheeks. I have a friend who, well, my wife's friend, her husband is from Panama, and he calls their daughter. Their daughter has huge cheeks, and he calls her cachete. So I know what cheeks in Spanish is. So when I've seen cachete, I know exactly what it is. Grumpus says he likes his fireboard. Yeah. Meter works really good. Barbados. Oh, barbacoa. Yes, agreed. So you make barbacoa from beef cheeks, from shredded beef. So there's that. You know, I think this bourbon is giving me a little bit of indigestion. Like I'm feeling it. I feel like I need some water or something. Holy cow, we've been at this for an hour and 45 minutes almost. Time flies when you're having fun. So do you guys have any other questions? And if you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up button for me. I would greatly appreciate it. But I feel like, some of the questions are starting to slow down. But if you guys have more questions, I can keep talking. Turns time. Yeah. Sure enough. Tums time. Yeah. The only problem is the Tums is upstairs. I actually have some apple cider vinegar behind where the camera is in the cupboard, and that'll knock the indigestion out right away. Yeah. Heartburn. Oh man. Goodness gracious, guys! Like this is a nice chat. Like seriously, this was not a difficult one. I kept up with the chat because I wasn't telling a whole bunch of stories. Kirk, I am right on time with the chat. Let's see. Come on. I'm waiting for it to pop up on my phone. All right, let's see. Anything to worry about for us as being meat infected with COVID? Twaski. So the whole thing is, if you're cooking the meat to the safe temperatures, then you're fine. Just having more for email. All right, well, Brian, just hit me up, man. My email address is listed on the videos if you look for the about information, or scroll down in the videos. Mike says, what wood for brisket? We don't have oak in Michigan. I'm sure you do. Oak is one of the most prevalent woods in the country. Eric, yeah, the hot bourbon will definitely do that. But Mike, the whole thing is this: find out what wood is most prevalent in your area and use it. As long as you're not using pine, the oils in the pine will mess up your. It'll make you sick, from what I understand. But you want, like, I am not a fan of hickory, so, or excuse me, I'm not a fan of mesquite. So, like, I don't like mesquite. Mesquite is just too much. It's too much smoke. But hickory, I'm good with. Oak, cherry, apple. Uh, but I don't know what is, local to you. Mike, what you might want to do is hit up an arborist and find out exactly what you can find. Kirk, thanks. He says I'm killing it tonight. Oh, dude, Kirk, apple cider vinegar, like a shot or a half a shot of apple cider vinegar is like knocks it right out, right out. Do I have a catering license? So, Brian, no, I don't, because I'm not selling to the public. More often than not, the catering events that I do are like small events, like a small dinner and things like that. It is a catered event, but I'm not catering in the true sense of like renting out a hall and catering like that. So I don't. You ever cook with maple? I have cooked with maple. Really didn't notice much of a difference. Kirk says he uses hickory and cherry. Tell you what, I will swear live oak for making coals. Live oak, I guess. Live oak or post oak? Hickory works good if you say so. I'm not a fan of hickory. I just don't like it. Excuse me. I don't like mesquite. Sorry. Mix mesquite with oak or pecan. Love the heat from hickory and the sweet smoke of the cherry. Find a pair to complement each other perfectly. Good night, Papa. Okay, good night, sir. Webcam CEO says, how do I start a catering business? Well, the first thing you're going to need to do is learn how to cook. No, but in all seriousness, if you are a decent enough cook, you have some friends that you trust that you can let them try your food, some coworkers maybe that you can let try your food, and if the food is good enough, they will offer to buy it from you. And when they buy it from you, then that's how your business is started. I just got an arborist in pocket thanks to my channel. That's what's up. I'm using red oak for the first time. Never used it. Red oak. I mean, oak to me, oak is oak. I haven't really noticed much difference. The major differences I've learned or I notice is using fruit woods versus something else. Lou says I love pecan right now. I'm using the oak and cherry. That's what's up. Is there a difference between live oak and post oak when smoking meat? So I cannot answer that question because I do not know. I've never used post oak. So there are a plethora of different oak varieties, and it just seems like your location is going to determine what type of oak you have. So because there's only like a primarily like white oak and red oak in my area, no one says white oak or red oak or blue oak or this oak or that oak. They just call it oak. And what I've determined after using it for so long is that the majority of the oak that I'm using is white oak. So, yeah. Mostly fine hickory, cherry, apple, mesquite, maple, just called peach chips the other day. How long do you let your brisket smoke before you wrap it? Brother Bear, it depends on the size of the brisket, what I have to cook. It really, I mean, it's not a hard and fast. They go for this amount of time. Like I used to hard and fast say, oh, I'm gonna let my brisket smoke for 6 hours. Nah, I stopped doing that. I usually anywhere between. It depends. The brisket cook that you're going to see tomorrow, that brisket was wrapped in 2 hours. In 2 hours, the brisket was ready. So the whole thing is, again, use internal temperature to help your cook move along. There was a small brisket that I did over the weekend, and it took the heat, and it cooked, and it was wrapped in 2 hours. It was done in four and a half hours. Boom, that was it. Yeah, it was a tiny little brisket. So most people tell you between 150 and 160 degrees, no higher than 165 degrees, is when you want to wrap your briskets. It depends. Like I said, if I am in the smoker doing something else, or I am around the smoker doing something, and it's like, oh, it's at 155 degrees. All right, I'll wrap it. As long as it has the color I'm looking for, as long as it, it's just one of those things where you kind of feel it out. You will figure out what temperature and or how long you want your briskets to cook for. But I let my briskets hang out usually for 3 to 5 hours. So yeah. BZ, man, how you doing this evening? What's your favorite barbecue to cook for you and your family to enjoy? I talk about it. I say salmon and or lamb are some of my favorite things to cook because they cook so fast. That's what's up, B. Jack says I cooked with with mulberry once. Needless to say, Betty was not happy. Everything looked dark. You know what? I talked about this before, Jack. Mulberry burns. It burns dirty, and I thought it was just me, but mulberry does burn dirty. I was given some mulberry, and what I found is you cannot cook solely with mulberry. If you cook in with mulberry, you need to put like one split of mulberry in with anything else, like one split along with something else. You can't cook solely with mulberry; it burns dirty, and I think it's because it burns hotter and faster. So because it wants to burn faster, you don't want that high heat because it wants to burn so fast. So when you're dropping the heat down, it doesn't burn cleanly, and it gives you that dark, discolored. Yeah. Patrick says, "How often do you clean your pits from top to bottom?" Probably a good once a year. Usually, like right now, after the winter, like a spring cleaning type thing, I will get in there and kind of clean them completely out and get them like all of the grease and the burnt stuff out of there. But that's about it. Once a year. Post oak is in Texas. We have red and white in California, which is equivalent to post. So BZ is not equivalent. They're similar species. There are differences. It's almost took me 18 years to do 10-pound butt, or 18 hours to do a 10-pound butt. Every day is different. Yeah, it all depends on the temperature you're cooking at too. What kind of pellets you running in my Traeger? Pit Boss pellets, whatever I can get from Walmart. Nothing special, nothing fancy. Kirk says he wraps his brisket when he got the color he likes. Then his dashes method in the pan, covered, perfect, perfect. What else I like to hear? Red oak burns hotter than live oak or post oak, but flavor is close. Again, I don't. I've never cooked enough of them with side by side to be able to tell. Um, BZ says mulberry is nasty. It's not nasty. It's just it's a different type of wood, and you have to change your fire accordingly. That's just a big cook. Would you push the 500 people? If I had to, sure. But I mean, that's just not one of those things that I'm like chomping at the bit to do every single weekend. Because nah, man, it was a rough cook. So I got hickory and white and red oak. Am I good? Morgan, you should be fine. Always use oak as a base and then throw splits of the fruit woods. That sounds great, Brian. You're right. Post and white oak cook very similar. I'm looking at post oak. It reminds me of white oak. Looking at red oak, like it reminds me of cherry. But they don't burn differently. Mulberry, out of all the things I've cooked with, mulberry for sure cooks differently. Definitely cooks differently. Everything I smoke is different in time depending on what I'm smoking on. You're right, Corey. I mean, and and I don't want you to think that I don't agree with you, but the weight of what you're cooking is going to give you different times as well. Uh, Brian says mulberry is the same as mesquite. I use small cuts on my coals so it doesn't dry the meat. Okay. It's just one of those things, man. Like the couple times I cooked with mulberry, my arborist, he threw it in there and was like, "Oh, here's this mulberry here," and I'm like, "Mulberry?" I'm like, "Can I cook with that?" He's like, "Yeah, it'll burn." And I learned the hard way. Just like you said, Jack, totally agree. And Betty probably is right. Now that one probably tastes like your camels. Um, it just burns differently. It really does burn differently. Hot tip on spring cleaning: run car wash with a pressure washer. Hit it with soap and degreaser, then wash it out. Roll owners aren't. I guess, of course, fans grease down the drains since they recycle the water. Well, Kirk, my smoker is not portable as yours is. I would have to rent a trailer from U-Haul in order to move my smokers. Kirk says, but clean as a whistle. But I use a pressure washer here in the house, so, it is what it is. Corey says he agrees. What do you agree with? You got to use full sentences because I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. Looking to buy a new smoker. Options are vertical or gravity fed. Oh, that was vert. Any opinions? I've never used a gravity fed, so I cannot talk to a gravity fed. I love my vertical smoker. Love, love, love my vertical smoker because of the fact that, it's not set it and forget it, but it's close. It's pretty darn close. And you're probably going to have a slightly better cooking area with a vertical smoker. Excuse me, depending on the size. So, happened to my trailer. My trailer is not big enough to carry any of my smokers, with the exception of Priscilla. Bernadette weighs 2,500 pounds, if not more. Bessie still weighs 1,500 pounds, but Bessie is way bigger than my trailer. Vicky is like 1,500, 2,000 pounds, and she sticks straight up. So that's not going on there. So not that I don't have a trailer, it's just that my trailer is not big enough to carry my smokers. Look at the barbecue pits for sale group on Facebook. Brian says all wood smokers just some you can smoke meat on, and some wait. All wood smokers, just some you can smoke meat with, and some not. Yes. I want a vertical offset as well. Grumpus, you know what I really want? I want that Lone Star Grill double door cabinet. Like that right there. I need that in my life. Says, can I explain the difference between vertical and gravity smokers? So the gravity fed, the whole thing is there's like a little fire pot, and the ash and the fire burns, and there's a fan that blows the heat and smoke into the cook chamber. So there's no actual heat that's hitting your food. With a vertical smoker, your heat and smoke are usually underneath of your fire, and the heat and smoke travel in, by convection or just a straight draft. But the gravity smokers are a little bit different. They force the heat and just the heat into your cook chamber, and they force the heat in and underneath your food. Look up the master built smoker, master built gravity smoker. Excuse me, and see how they work. It's pretty darn interesting how they work. Weight matters most in smoking, not just smoker. I agree. Ever use all your smokers at once? No, CXK, never all of them at once. The most smokers I've had going at once has been two. Like Bessie and Vicky. Actually, no. You know what? I've had Bessie, Bernadette, and Vicky going, I think, at one time. And that was just because I had a few different types of things going on, and I had some things that were taking up a lot of space. So, yeah. But other than that, no, one, maybe two smokers at a time, ever. usually. Man, I want one. Yeah, I need more than that vertical with the warming box, man. What inspired me? So the whole thing was, like I said, I was cooking for friends and family. I was always the guy that was cooking. So I was cooking and I was taking food to friends and family, and then the hustler in me was like, "Wait a minute, you would pay me for this? Like money? Like for real? All right, let me go see how much I'll charge you." The rest is history. Mimi, how you doing this morning? Gosh, this morning I am like, I'm done. What do you think about a vertical offset? Corey, I mean, I, I don't know because I'm using them for a slightly different purpose. I need more room than just like what would be offered in a vertical offset. But that's just me. So I don't have an opinion really. 20 years good before I retire. Mike, good luck. All right, guys. I'm getting to that point where I am yawning. Hopefully, you guys understand. This was a very, very, very fun live stream, despite the fact that I'm tired. It's been a long day for me. Really, really, really want to thank you guys so very much, as always, for being here, for participating, and for being a part. Uh, Actually, while you guys are here, let's see. There is the video for tomorrow. All right. Does fish offer a good profit margin? It depends on what kind of fish you're cooking and how much you can get it for and sell it for. I can't really tell you because I really only cook one type of fish, and that's salmon. And the cost of salmon has gone up relative to what I'm charging for salmon. I really need, like everything. I need to bump the prices up on salmon. I need to bump the prices up on everything. I just haven't. Um, and that's some of it is laziness. Other parts of it is because I am still a little guy, and like sometimes I don't want people to push back. Like, how do you think you can charge X number of dollars for whatever it is you're cooking? So, but check out that video if you could for me. Give it a thumbs up and comment. First time all the way through, Joaquin. Well, that's what's up, man. Thank you. Hold on. Cheers. Jack, Betty, you guys stay safe, and I hope to see you next week. Daddy Cooks, man, what's going on? How you doing this evening? When do you think you're going to do another road trip? I have no idea, Los. No idea. Love you too, man. Seriously, love all of you guys. Kirk says rockfish does well around there. Rockfish is expensive though. I think it's cheaper for him because of where he is though. I did salmon croquettes today. Nice. Get that Booker's bourbon. I don't know, man. I gotta kind of chill when buying bourbon. This was another $60 bottle today, and whew, I mean, not mad at it, but yeah. Favorite thing on Netflix right now? Gosh, what did I just finish watching? Well, I of course watched Tiger King based off of you guys' recommendations. There's a couple series. Oh, you know what? Black AF. I watched that on Sunday. Yo, my wife and I sat and watched that on Sunday, and my goodness, Black AF. I'm gonna leave it there. But yes. All right, guys. That bottle looks too full. Hell, shoot. This is Bullet. This is a Bullet bourbon. Yo. Funny everyone's raising their prices just because Chinese owned Smithfield is closing. I'm not raising my prices because of that. But anyway, I refuse to watch Tiger King. I won't watch. Uh, dude, Tiger King. Uh, it is a what they call a shit show. It like Tiger King was hilarious, and it is popped up in popular culture. I mean, to me, it's hilarious. It was hilarious, and just when you think it can't get any worse, it does. So, highly recommend it. But it's not silliness. See, this is the thing that you don't get. This was this man's real life. He really did these things. This is it. It's not even reality TV because it's not made up. This was his real life. All right, Corey. Thank you very much. This is a quiet taste, dude. It's just one of those things, man. Just muscle through it. It's only like 7 episodes, and they're like half an hour, 45 minutes a piece. But it's a trip. It's a trip. Oh man, Ozark is really good. The only problem is, see, like right now, like I'm tired, and I would put it on. I am on the 3rd season of Ozark, but I haven't even gotten through the 1st episode of Ozark. Maybe the 2nd episode. Every time I all right, but Bumpy says, "Oh, I loved it." Yo, you cannot look away. Grump is just like, what the hell? What? Yo, you can't be. Oh, what? That was every single episode. Every single episode with Tiger King. Oh my gosh. And calling before I pour another drink. Always a pleasure. Hey Kirk, thank you. Look, you see me, right? I'm doing the same thing. I'm not trying to don't pour another. Don't pour another. Don't know how available it is up in the air, but it's Corsair small batch triple smoke is good whiskey if you're into smoked whiskeys. I have had a smoked whiskey from time to time. But I'm not a real big brown liquor drinker. Just a couple of you guys have been trying to get me to, have been trying to get me to try bourbon, so I'm trying to give it a fair shake. I haven't found something where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. Like I'm just kind of like chilling. I'm trying to understand and learn. Like I haven't developed a bourbon vocabulary yet, so. I didn't murder kids on Carol Baskin because of Netflix. Shoot, they should have. Killed her husband, whacked him. Yo, bump, dude. Trainwreck doesn't even begin to start it. Stick with Black Lightning, Lucifer. Lucifer is a good one. I'm all caught up on Lucifer. I do have to finish Ozark. I just haven't done it. Kirk says he highly recommends Blacklist as well. I think I started watching Blacklist, but it was intimidating because it's like 7 or 8 seasons. No problem. All right, look, gotta go to sleep now. Gotta end this. Oh God, Trump is not going to pardon Tiger King. Hopefully he doesn't. Oh gosh. Anyway, thank you guys so very much. If you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. Really, it does help not only these videos, it helps me feel better, and it helps my channel immensely. Hey, here is the video for tomorrow. Those of you guys who stuck around, do a light label. All right, I will, we'll see. Texas barbecue, I can't get an Ozark. How can you not get an Ozark, man? Marty, yo, it's just like, hey, look, fellas, we're going to do this again next week. Thank you guys so very much. Next week, I probably will still stick to the schedule and put out a video on, I don't know, we'll see. If tomorrow I can get to editing and put together a teaser, then I might put out an extra video next week. But we shall see. Nonetheless, thank you guys so very much again, as always, for watching, for coming to the live stream. I really do appreciate you, and I am gone.